Hello everyone, my name is Lucio Mels, and this book review is long overdue. The reason being is I've been quite busy with school, and I just finished my finals a couple days ago and should be expecting results or grades soon. School starts again in September. I'm taking psychology and mythology, and I probably won't be uploading much during the school semester, but I always seem to disprove that idea of mine. Anyways, I'm friends with Jason from Old Blues Chapter and Verse. He has this series called Maybe Midrash, where you read 1,000 pages of a book in a month, and I did complete this challenge during that month, but I didn't have time to make a review until today. I'll be citing the book Synopsis on the back, which is quite impossible to summarize this book as it is 900 pages plus 100 pages of endnotes, and the endnotes are not arbitrary, they are part of the book. For example, one endnote can be 12 pages long, and another endnote can just be a joke, and I think in a way that is the book itself, an infinite joke, not in a crude or negative view, but to suggest that life itself is a long and infinite joke that no man can overcome or master. So here is what it looks like. Don't mind this, it fell on the bus, but it's this big. It's written by David Foster Wallace, so I'll read the back of the book before going on to the Goodreads review. Set in an addict's halfway house and a tennis academy, and featuring one of the most endearingly screwed up families in contemporary fiction, Infinite Jest explores essential questions about what entertainment is and why it has come to dominate our lives, about how our desire for entertainment affects our need to connect with other people, and about what the pleasures we choose say about who we are. Equal parts philosophical quest and screwball comedy, Infinite Jest bends every rule of fiction without sacrificing for a moment its own entertainment value. It is exuberant, uniquely American exploration of the passions that make us human, and one of those rare books that renew the idea of what a novel can do. So there are certain novels, such as Gravity's Rainbow, or any other works by Thomas Pynchon, or Don DeLillo, such as White Noise, or works by Vladimir Nabokov, such as Pale Fire, which sort of twists and turns the notions of a typical novel into a commentary on literature and philosophy itself. The book opens up with Hal, who is at a tennis academy looking for a scholarship, and it goes over all the details of his life. The book is about entertainment and how it predicted streaming culture in today's America or the globe, where everyone watches entertainment to avoid the exploration of themselves or to find deeper meaning in their own lives as an easy means of a simple addiction to feel included in societal terms. In the book, there is a film that is so addicting that you die if you quit using it or viewing it, and everyone is trying to find a way to connect, much like in our own world, as cell phone use and social media is a manifestation of our need to be included or to be recognized or to seem relevant or to find connection with others. However, social media use has made people more isolated and distant from each other, and people use cell phone use in watching TV at home rather than actually focusing on one thing, thinking that people can do two things at once. Cell phone use has been well documented that it leads to further isolation and insecurity feelings, such as when someone is in a conversation with each other. They're either with one headphone in, listening to music, or they are talking to someone else from halfway across the globe while ignoring the physical person right in front of them. It is also about drug addiction, and as is well known in psychology that if rats fight each other, then they have to give each other a 30% chance of winning the fight, otherwise the rat will get bored. This relates to another study where rats will, given the option between an exit or a drug, they would choose a drug an infinite amount of times. So now onto the Goodreads review. Quote, Infinite Jest is a 1995 book about many things. It is about how addictions control us. It is about the streaming services of which the book predicted or anticipated. And Infinite Jest is about connecting to others, or more so the failure to connect. In our recent progress with the invention of social media and smartphones, one might assume that our social connection with each other might have improved. However, this is far from the case. While we have gained many friends we wouldn't have without social media, it has also made us more lonely. In Infinite Jest, people are addicted to a film that they can't give up without their having been able to come off their addictions. Today's day and age, especially with the help of COVID due to locations being held off, we are addicted to smartphones. Maybe not the smartphone itself, but how we use the smartphone, to streaming services and social media. It has been well documented that the effects of social media has on us, to the point where some even spend even half the day watching TV or using our phone. And let's be honest, people use their phones while watching TV. So people spend around 5 to 6 hours a day watching TV and about 6 hours a day on their phones. As a result of our invention of the smartphone, we have become more self-conscious about our bodies whenever we look at photos of couples or our friends doing well and them having portrayed a perfect life. But does anyone actually believe in people when they report to be happy? I wouldn't doubt if people lie about how they are doing when passing each other on the street or when someone talks to a barista. Hi, hello, how are you? Good? Yeah, me too. This is completely arbitrary and no one believes each recipient. Do we believe the individual or the collective? Some argue that our actions are influenced by other people. When people watch a movie about a superhero delivering justice to the enemy, one might take their conceived notions of a mantle or mortal compass of saving others when this act is meant to save ourselves. The book is also about how a film is so addictive that if you cut cold turkey, you die. In an article by nida.nih.gov, it states, quote, many people don't understand why or how other people become addicted to drugs. They may mistakenly think that those who use drugs lack moral principles or willpower, and that they could stop their drug use simply by choosing to. In reality, drug addiction is a complex disease, and quitting usually takes more than good intentions of a strong will. How many people, end quote, how many people don't understand how people become addicted to drugs, something that drug addiction lacks the willpower to not become addicted in the first place. This, however, is untrue. It takes tremendous willpower to come off a drug. In the book, as mentioned earlier, people are addicted to media. This is not too far off from today, where people spend 5 to 7 hours watching TV and 12 hours or more on their phone. Note, an over exaggeration on my part, but not completely off anticipation of reality. Today, where people spend 5 to 7 hours watching TV and 12 hours or more on their phone, we have lost ourselves in reality based on our need to forget the miseries of addiction. The use of media is in direct link to our need to ignore what bothers us or what makes us afraid of us, and the idea to confront either ourselves or the world we live in. In the same article, it mentions, quote, addiction is a chronic disease characterized by drug seeking and use that is compulsive or difficult to control despite harmful consequences. Addiction is a chronic disease characterized by drug taking, which is compulsive or deficiently hard to control. Sometimes people take drugs either to conform and be accepted, which relies on notions of inferiority of ourselves. According to Statista, it states, according to a survey, quote, conducted in February 2021, nearly half of the respondents say that on average they spend 5 to 6 hours on their phones on a daily basis, not including work-related smartphone use. A further 22% of respondents said that they spend 3 to 4 hours on average on their phone daily. However, the survey suggests that in 2021, end quote, of the members state how people spend 5 to 6 hours on cell phone use a day. I find it interesting how people in the past told their kids to stay not too close from a screen, and now we spend our days in VR on Meta in Facebook. I just find that interesting to note. Drug addiction is hard to stop and hard to notice initially upon the correspondent. We have lost our way and no one batted an eye. Kierkegaard once remarked how the greatest hazard of all, losing oneself, can occur very quietly in the world, as if it were nothing at all. No other loss can occur so quietly. Any other loss, an arm, a leg, $5, a wife, etc., is sure to be noticed. Sorry for the lecture, but I find the topics in this book to be interesting. Moreover, Matt, I don't remember his real name, is something like Matt. I could be getting this wrong, but his YouTube channel, The Bookchemist, suggests that this book could be argued to be either a postmodern or a modernist or realist novel. I can't say much on these, as in the postmodern field, I've only read Don DeLillo and Thomas Pynchon, so it's hard to say what kind of novel this is, and that's what good literature is, undefinable and unbreakable as well. I will be doing another video today about books that I plan to read, even though it is, and I don't even know what month this is. Let me check. It is May, and people usually do these videos on the beginning of the month of the year. But I did plan on doing something similar to that. I just got busy, like that. Not like that Incredibles quote. He got busy when he froze Mr. Incredible and his family. I'm always reminded of that scene for some reason. Anyways, this is a great book, and if you're dedicated to it, it can take you a month. However, if you see no reason to read it, then David Foster Wallace's interviews are quite interesting, and he has a shorter work, This Is Not Water, and Consider the Lobster. When I was in high school, I saw a collection of books, all the same books, of David Foster Wallace, The Pale King. I haven't read it, although I do have a friend who is obsessed with David Foster Wallace. And speaking of that friend, there is another YouTuber named Ryan from For the Love of Ryan, where he mentions how the book itself is like a tennis match. You go back and forth between the main story and the directed endnotes as well. So I will leave you with two recommended YouTube channels, The Bookchemist and For the Love of Ryan. He doesn't do book reviews anymore. He spends his time on Twitch. So if you're looking for video game content, he is doing Subnautica, and I actually don't remember what he's doing now. Sorry if you're watching this. Thank you, and as always, have a good day.